And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, January 26th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody. Good morning on a Wednesday. It's cold out there, but clear this morning, and we're happy to have you with us, of course. We're glad to be on the air for Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better, and Robert L. McDonald is here this morning from Donaldson. Good morning.
Coleman, good morning.
It is good to see you.
Good to see you.
We get to see you on fairly rare occasions now, if we're lucky once a month, I guess.
I haven't seen you all year, Coleman. I know. It's been a long time, but it's so good to be back. I love that nice drive coming up here. I'm thinking about the day, so it's good to be here.
And less traffic on the way up than there is on the way back.
Very peaceful on the way up here. The way back, you never know what you might run into. But
well, we talk about the three different locations, three different communities. It's still the same Simple Banking and Simply Better for all three, but each community has its own personality and your own clients and the own banker who's there, you being the one in Donaldson.
That's right. Each location, Coleman, has their own personality. Is a good way to say that. Their own clients, and Bob lets that happen for a reason. They kind of allows the leadership of each office to kind of run that office as they see fit, and hopefully that's the way Bob likes it as well. But that's a very good point. But we have to say, Willie McDonald's personality still runs very true in that office. He'll be 90 years old, Coleman, in March of this year, and of course he still stops by every now and again to make sure one of the doors are open, I'm sure, and kind of what we're doing inside that office. But he's doing great, and he was really an impact and made a mark in that Donaldson community, as you know, for all those years.
Well, it's been a great mentor to you,
sure,
and Bob, no doubt, but you too, with him being down there. You actually have been closer to him business-wise, I think, in the last 2 or 3 years than Bob has.
Well, of course, when I started at the bank, Coleman, I came from another bank in Nashville in May of 2013, and working alongside, having that opportunity to work alongside Willie for, I guess, going on about 7 years, day in and day out, it made a true impact on me. There's no doubt about that.
Well, what about interest rates?
I know we were talking here with Pete earlier on that. It's a sensitive subject, isn't it? Everybody is so used to the rates being so low for this long period of time, and this time was coming. Of course, at the bank, we kind of prepared for that. It's hard to forecast what might happen.
A lot of this depends on the Fed, doesn't it?
It does. And so when they meet, now we're expecting, and if you've been listening to some of the Chairman Powell's comments lately, they've even forecasted 3 to maybe 4 rate hikes this year, which is a lot, and sometimes it's hard to kind of get your mind around. But that's kind of a global setting there, or national setting, but we really look at the local community and as far as how it impacts folks here, and so we're very cognizant of how that impacts our customers and our communities. So we'll keep an eye on it, but the rates are still at a very good level.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I thought I had a great interest rate at 7.5% when I got my mortgage a long time ago.
That's right. But as the interest rates increase, of course, on the lending side, the depository rates can increase as well. So maybe earn a little bit more on your money if you need to park something in a CD or a money market account. That's kind of how that works, kind of in tandem.
But we do say you have money to lend. You can get your loan at Cedarstone.
Money to lend, loan at Cedarstone. Come by any one of our locations, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, or Donaldson. We'll be happy to talk with you. And the main thing, as we always talk about, Coleman, is establishing that relationship. Come in, getting to know us. Let us get to know you, and it really goes a long way when it comes to your lending needs.
Well, one of the best ways to start a relationship is with a checking account, and especially if that checking account is free.
A free checking account, Simple Banking, Simply Better, Coleman. That free checking account we've had from day one is free, no minimum balance requirement. Free ATM charges anywhere in the world. As Bob likes to say, Cedarstone Bank is global, and due to that fact there. Mobile deposit, and if those that write checks or receive checks can make that deposit through your phone, that's free. So every service tied to the account is free of charge.
Well, it's saying a lot. I mean, just a free checking account is wonderful, but with all the perks, and especially that foreign ATM fee reimbursed, I don't think many people
No, a free checking account sounds so simple, but some places make it very complicated, requiring a direct deposit, requiring X amount in the account each month, a number of debit card transactions. But with us, No gimmicks like that. It's totally free.
And if somebody is there for 6, 8 months, a year or something with a free checking account, and you kind of have can watch over how they've done, if they haven't gotten overdrawn, if they've done well, that's favorable when you review their loan application.
Sure. So when that time comes, whether it's 8 months or a month in, having that relationship with us, managing the money well, of course, goes a long way when that decision comes, for that lending need.
Well, it just means you're going to get a better deal. Well, sometimes you do have to say no, I guess.
Sure.
But sometimes you might get a little bit better rate if you've got a really good credit rating and you've done well.
Yeah, we have to say no sometimes, but when that happens, we like to talk to them about how they can, fix that. Maybe come back to us in 6 months and try this and try that. But again, having that relationship with us allows us to get a greater picture of the financial history of you as the consumer, and help that decision for us down the road as well.
Well, anything in the Donaldson community you want to mention quickly here that you're involved in?
We're of course involved with all the schools, Donaldson Middle School, McGavick. I know they're all going through some times, with this COVID still around, but we're involved in that and have some great events coming up this spring. So this time of year, we kind of prepare for that and help support our local schools in the community. So we're excited about that.
All right. Good to see you this morning, Bob. Thank you so much. And Uncle Pete is here and wants to say a word.
Yes, the American Legion in Donaldson on February the 14th is having a pancake breakfast.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Thank you, Pete. Come see us there at the American Legion in Donaldson. That's wonderful.
All right, Robert, thanks so much. Good to have you. Have a safe trip back to Donaldson, and we'll see you next time whenever
Coleman,
that is.
thank you. Good being with you.
All right. Robert McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Well, I've already introduced him in a way, but once again, officially now, here he is, the one and only Uncle Pete.
Good morning, Wilson County and the surrounding areas. This portion of your program today is being brought to you by the veterans of Wilson County. Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning. Good to see you. I was thinking the other day after we designated today to be the day for you to come, that I think it used to be you were here every Wednesday at this time and brought the cup of coffee like you have this morning.
Yeah, brought my buddy in there, a couple tenderloins.
Billy.
Yes.
Old Billy Goodman. He's still around.
He's still doing good. Still singing in the shower.
Well, we have you here primarily to talk about veterans and some of their needs and some of the services that you are leading the way for. Really, there are other things to talk about, of course. You still have the Uncle Pete's truck stop, and you claim that you're just out there, but I still think you have a great influence on what takes place.
My daughters and them and I tell people I don't hire, I don't fire. My daughters do that. My wife in their program does that. I can recommend, but it's up to them.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love staying out of that. I go in the mornings and have breakfast with the guys at the Stretch to the Truth table, and and just have a good time. The veterans are there on Wednesday morning and Saturday morning. Next Saturday, we've actually got two groups of veterans coming. We've got our local group, and then the Mount Juliet American Legion is going to come up and have breakfast too. So we're going to have a lot of veterans in there.
What's inflation doing to you and your...
It's killing restaurants. It literally is hurting them. The smaller ones, the larger ones, if you'll sort of watch some of the big guys, they're having to change their menus on a weekly or monthly basis. We had one steak go up 19%. Green beans are going up. This is going up. Orange juice.
Yeah.
Look out! If you ain't got frozen orange juice put up, you're gonna drop your socks. Orange juice, they're saying, will go up between 30 and 40%.
What's the cause of this? I had a story on TV about it, but I wasn't paying much attention.
Part of the problem on orange juice is they had a problem with the trees.
Oh.
They lost a bunch of trees. They can't get pickers that they normally could get. This one guy on there the other day was saying that he normally got 100 pickers, and these are families, but all told about 100 pickers. He got 24. You know, 2/3 didn't show up. And, you know, and it's killing him. And he's saying that the Orange Growers Association is voted unanimously to go up on their orange juice. So it's fresh oranges. If you'll notice in the grocery stores, the navel oranges from California and South America and all that, whoo, they're $1 a piece.
Oh, wow.
So, but you're going to see that in produce more and more and more. As long as we keep the same attitude that we don't need the migrant workers, we don't need them coming in and helping, you're going to see things go ridiculous, because I'm telling you now, people's grandchildren that are young enough to work now ain't getting their out of the bed and go work. I can't find employees. Our salaries are going up to keep the ones so we don't lose them to their competition.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay more. You're going to pay more because the waitresses are making good, but the people in the back end that make the waitresses do good. Some of the big restaurant firms now are making the waitresses tip out the cooks and the servers and stuff like that, share their wealth. They you know, they're not real happy with it, but when they're making $250 a night, their bosses are saying, well, I can get somebody else to take your job. I can't get anybody else to take theirs. So it's not fun.
No, that's ironic.
Well, we're seeing a percentage fee added to certain tickets. I've got one in my office said, I think it's it's a service fee. This is added to help us pay the cooks and the back staff, so we don't lose them and you don't have a place to eat.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to.
And doing that rather than raising the price of the item on the menu.
They're doing that because they can't regulate raising prices.
Oh.
It drives you nuts. I have to literally pull the tickets that coming in. The girl pulls them, and we go down the list and see what went up from last time. And there's no used to I could get a contract, and it would be this much for 6 months. Forget that. They won't do it.
Got to take a break. Pete Norman, Haywood P. Norman IV is here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening in the roadways. On the roadways, it's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's picked up quite a bit, actually, on I-40 coming out of Mount Juliet right now. Wilson County traffic busy this time of the morning. Still looks good as far as really bad interstate accidents. Now, they're moving a fender bender 24 west between OHB and Hickory Hollow Parkway. All that traffic starting to build now, coming in from Rutherford County. Warmer weather's waiting for you right now at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway at PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
Attention Cumberland University baseball fans. New era of Phoenix baseball, the Ryan Hunt era, officially begins this Friday, January 28th in Shreveport, Louisiana, as the Phoenix take on the LSU Shreveport Pilots. The first game broadcast begins at 1:40 p.m., and you don't want to miss this historic event. I'm Randy Salas, and along with Coach Woody Hunt, we'll bring you all the action. 2 games on the 28th at 1:40 and 5, and 2 on the 29th at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Tune in to WCOR 1490 AM, WANTFM.com, or GoCumberlandAthletics.com.
And thanks for joining us here on a Wednesday morning. Pete Norman with us. Now, I've got to ask you this. We've got this. We're going to be talking about the military a little bit. the Russians building up the military on their side of the border between Russia and Ukraine, and the U.S. government getting involved, doing a little saber rattling at least. What do you think's going to happen? Do you have any idea?
In the words of a famous Japanese general, you don't slap the sleeping dragon. Russia is rattling their sabers. They're running up and down the border. They're causing chaos because they probably want a deal. One of them is they don't want NATO closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of countries in Europe, and now they're saying that Russia and China are in cahoots trying to overthrow America as the number one leading country in the world. And China is the one I'm afraid of. But China, like the island that they want to take back, Formosa. The problem with that is they can't sneak up on it in the ocean, and Formosa already has an unbelievable armament all along their beaches and mobile, so you can't take them out, and if you fire something at them, they're going to return 3-1. Russia has got an idiot for a president who all he thinks is military, because that's what he was. He was secret police and all that other. And there's no, in the communist country, when you get in, you're in. The only way you get out is like the mafia. You die.
Mm-hmm.
Dead out. And I don't think he's stupid enough to do something, but he's got the mentality if people don't believe him, he'll do something to spite you. And that's what frightens me. Then we're right in the middle of it. And it will not be a good deal. It will not. He's got a formidable military, and he's, of course, already lined them up on the starting line, and it's going to be heck to push him back.
When you have your military meetings, I'm using that for lack of a better expression.
American Legion, VFW, VVA.
When all have your various monthly meetings and so on, is a lot of this talked about?
Some of it is, yeah. More of it at like this morning at the table, on Saturday morning at the table. That's when you hear more than you do at the meetings. We try to make the meetings a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we have our meal in front of it, yes, the different tables will talk about different things. And
well, is there a general census of opinion, a consensus of, or is there a lot of varied ideas?
A lot of various ideas. A lot of we hope this won't.
Yeah.
Because we've been there and done that, and we don't want young people to have to go into this. The longest running war was Afghanistan and Iraq, and their deaths wasn't as bad as Vietnam, but their walking wounded is 5 times. Because modern medicine, modern medevac, able to get you from being shot to a trauma center in matters of minutes, has saved these guys' lives. But they're legless, armless, concussion shock. They've got all these other problems. I've got a kid now that we're working with that he keeps all the lights off and he's in his bunker. And he's having some really tough times. And I had one lady said, "Is PTSD real?" I said, "Ma'am, not only is it real, but you couldn't handle it." And she said, "Well, you don't know that." And I said, "Yeah, I do." and that's the truth. It hits different people different. And the bad thing about PTSD now is some of the guys that are 60 and 70 years old, it's coming back on them, or it's rearing up its ugly head. And that comes from, as you get older in life and get closer to the end of your life, you start accounting for things that you've done. both good and not good. And not good is killing people. Not good is burning a village down. Not, and this is starting to come back to some of the guys. One guy that's in a group session was sitting there saying, I was with a group that when we went through a village, we burn it to the ground. Well, he said, I think about that. Did those people starve to death after I burnt their village and burn up their rice crops and everything else? And it weighs heavy on you. I suggested to him, I said, next time you want to take a vacation, go to Vietnam. Why would I want to do that? I said, you'll see that they have no animosity toward us. That is the most unbelievable, forgiving feeling in the world. They welcome you to their country. The kids and older people will come out and talk to you. One guy that I talked to was a North Vietnamese command sergeant major. He's showing me all these pictures and all of his medals and stuff that he won and patting me on the back. Yeah. He was my enemy. No.
That made you feel better?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because he was not my enemy. He was the soldier on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
We were not enemies. Our countries were.
Yeah.
But he was just a soldier on the other side, and to him, I was the guy that flew that big green thing. And it is a healing process. There are a lot of groups. My helicopter group has a couple orphanages in Vietnam. Now, they don't have any orphans anymore from the Vietnam era, but they still have orphans.
Yeah.
Corona made a lot of orphans. And so these things are full again. I donate to both of them. And these are things that people don't see. And I know there's kids right here in the United States. Our Rotary Club this year took a family up in the mountains. Can't even think of the name of the town now, but back up in the mountains where they all go.
Yeah.
And we picked a family that was living in 3 storage buildings, 7 kids. The water they had running water, but it ran from a spring on the top of the hill down a pipe to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked one person and bought a whole bunch of things for that girl. And, when you see their Christmas list, a pair of good boots, some good blue jeans.
Yeah.
Any kind will do. I bought her Wranglers. I bought her a good pair of boots. I bought her a shoe shine kit to go with the boots. And then Miss Bone, she found her some shirts and blouses and stuff like that, and she wanted she liked astronomy. I'm going through my National Geographics, and I'm getting everything on astronomy, and I'm going to bundle those up and send them up. And I've got a telescope that I hadn't used in 10 years. I'm going to send it to her.
Yeah, okay.
I
realize we got 2 minutes left. It's flown by this morning.
Well,
what's on your
February the 17th, the Vietnam Veterans of America are going to have a pancake breakfast at the National Guard Armory. This is also the weekend of their meeting. So, but it's open to anybody and everybody. Come out and meet your local National Guard and have a good stack of pancakes. If you have a car, truck, or bicycles that are in good working order or not in good working order, call me, 615-804-4404. I have veterans that need transportation terribly. They don't have enough money to buy a new vehicle. Used cars right now are out of sight, but we can give you a tax credit. So if you've got one, call me. We'll make arrangements to get it picked up. We've got some of our guys that can tinker with them and get them running good so they'll have something to drive. If you have a loved one that you would like something dedicated in their name, we're taking up money for a new veterans building to be built right here in Lebanon so that we have a meeting place all the time, and we have a place to have assemblies. We have a place to do therapeutic counseling at that's ours. So if you'd like to do that, we can donate a room to them. We can donate, if you give enough, I'll put your name on the building. So if you're thinking about what am I going to do with my money, call me. We'll show you what we're going to do, and we can, like I said, we can put their name, their loved ones, and you on the wall.
Well, I'm sure any amount is appreciated, but if somebody's got some deep pockets,
we'll take from $1 to $1 million.
Yeah,
and everything in between.
Got a little bit to leave for somebody.
Somebody said the other day, there's enough pretty old ladies in this town to build anything you want.
I guess that's a good remark to leave on this morning. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me each month, Coleman. It really means a lot to us.
All right. That's Pete Norman, Uncle Pete, and part one of Coleman & Company. Keep it here for more, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $28.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73, West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a minor wreck here. It's just in a tricky spot. It's 24 westbound, right where it meets with 65. Just as soon as you come past Ellington Parkway, you'll see a little bit of a slowdown here on 24 westbound. Again, as you approach 65, a lot of this traffic's headed over towards Metro Center. Traffic still sluggish. 65 southbound in Robertson County. That's been crazy up through there all week long. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
We're halfway through the work week, and even though we'll have bright sunny skies, temperatures will only top out in the mid-30s, so bundle up. Thursday's forecast calls for more sunshine with highs climbing back into the mid-40s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Forget Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. It is a Wednesday morning. Wednesdays at this time, we have Philip Etherly come by to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Philip, good morning.
Morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a little cold out there this morning.
It's supposed to be this temperature in January.
Well, I can't disagree with that. It is, and sometimes we probably gripe too much. Mm-hmm. But we all, if you're like me, you don't like cold weather. You may like cold weather, but
it doesn't bother me. I've got, like I said, I've got 3 different coats in my truck, and I just grab whichever one I need.
Well, you've got heaters if people need to do that. I'm sure you got plenty of them to rent.
We do, yeah. They've been a frequent rental item here lately, and I think the farmers were calling for the Farmer's Almanac, I should say. We're calling for a really hard, cold winter, long winter. here we were on Christmas, 75 degrees or something like that. So I don't really know. I'm kind of up in the air. Yes, it's cold now, but I just wonder how long it's going to stay around.
Well, that's what we're all thinking, I guess. Let us remind everybody that you have an easy number to remember, and it's a very important number because you call 615-443-RENT and see what's available. But better yet, go to the website and your entire inventory is on that website, and the price per hour or however you
half day.
And
Exactly.
see something there that's going to help you. Call 615-443-RENT, and Philip and his people take care of it. It's that simple.
It really is that simple. We try to make it that simple, and like I say, we're going to ask you a lot of questions. What you're doing with equipment to make sure it's being used properly. Like right now, there's a lot of situations. If the ground's frozen, then it makes it difficult to do excavating work a lot of times. And so we'll ask a lot of questions. What are you doing with it? I had a gentleman this morning, if it's wet and like today, the ground's frozen or extremely hard, skid steer is not going to have any luck. You're not going to have any luck spreading dirt or dressing up a yard or anything like that because the ground is frozen and won't dig. So we ask a lot of questions. We are busy. Every kind of warm, sunny day or warmer or sunny day, we get busy. So like I say, it's a good time of the year for us, though.
Well, that's good to know. And you have a great location, really. 1325 West Main. You've been there for 20 years, 20 and a half. And you keep we've talked about this kind of a lot here lately, but you refresh your equipment. A piece of equipment doesn't stay there for 10 or 15 years. Not
right. We try to keep, depending on the type of equipment is most of our equipment I try to roll out every 2 to 3 years. Right now we're in a situation right now I'm having to hold on to some equipment a little bit longer because you can't buy back. You can't get the equipment back. But we still have the same number of rental fleet right now. We're not short on anything per se right now. So, we should be able to take care of whatever you need.
Still safe to say that you got everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers.
Exactly. Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
Well, you had pretty much the same amount of people to help you. I'm sure you've added from the day you started, but you have a fairly small crew, but y'all able to get the job
We
done.
do, and we probably have a team of anywhere from 5 to 7 at any time. During the summer times, it kind of picks up when things get a little bit busier and stuff. But we do have a good team, and I think the right number, the right mix, and so we're able to rotate days on and off, so everybody is able to get a good steady work week every week. And so I think we've got a good schedule.
Well, 615-443-RENT, and it is better to call a day or two, maybe even 3 or 4 days ahead of time. If you can do that and reserve it, you're more likely to be able to get it when you want it than if you wait till the day off.
Exactly. It's just scheduling. And like I say, normally if you call us a couple of days ahead, we can always have what you need on the day you need it.
Well, you're going to work with anybody. Somebody can have an emergency, and especially, and you probably deal with them from time to time. And I think knowing you, if there's any way you can work out something, you're going to, but you'd make it easier for everybody if you plan ahead.
Exactly.
Anything else you got for us?
No, just give us a call if you got any projects coming up, even any kind of remodeling projects inside the house or home improvement type projects. We have a lot of equipment related to that, so just give us a call and we'll be able to help you.
All right. Well, all them 3 or 4 coats or whatever, you stay warm and get the job done, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
Philip Etherly, Absolute Rental and Supply. Again, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. That phone number 615-443-RENT. We're 22 before the hour, and this could be a sort of a special program this morning, and we certainly have a special guest here, special in that she is retired and has become somewhat of a world traveler, or about to be, I think. Has a lot of interests, and we're going to find out some of them this morning. And without keeping you in further suspense, here's Dr. Donna Wright. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Was that a good introduction?
Well, it was an interesting introduction, but world traveler? Yeah.
You retired last June 30th, I believe, from being director of schools for the Wilson County schools. And Wonder what you've done since that time. I can't help but think your phone's rung a time or two with a question that somebody had. But what that's been 6 months and 3 weeks, something like that.
Something like that.
What's that been like?
Well, when you've had a routine, if anything, and I guess a life's journey for well over 40 years, I had difficulty, and I still have difficulty as far as I'm a struggling retiree, if there's such a term.
Okay.
But and that's okay, and I've tried to make sure that I've not driven my husband crazy, because he sort of had the domain to his self for a while there, and I think I've disrupted that just a little bit, not intentionally, but just sometimes you have to get into a different rhythm there. But with all that said, I have 3 very young grandchildren that are more than precious, and so they've had a good time there, coming and staying with Gammy when they've been in and out of school, and then with that some trips. I've trying to navigate COVID and doing some international travel.
Well, let me ask us, what does your husband mainly do?
Well, he's been
been
retired.
Oh.
He retired from the Oak Ridge National Lab about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so he tells everyone that's been driving Miss Donna all these years, and which sort of tongue in cheek, which I guess he has, but he's maintained our house and a lot of projects. He is a man of many projects and does beautiful work. So it was one of those that he had the day more or less to himself, and now he has to put up with me.
Does he do any kind of farming at all, or gardening, or?
Gardening, yes, but he's one that's, he is a master craftsman in my eyes as far as woodworking, and he can fix anything. And which sometimes that when I was listening to your guest talking about, they've even got wallpaper removal. I thought immediately, I've got another project. So yes, he's been busy.
All right. Well, what kind of traveling did you do?
Well, one of the things that I have always been, I guess, not only curious, but I have always loved to travel, and grew up in a family that we always had a vacation every summer. Didn't always know where it would be, but it was one that it was always important. And so, in last October, we were able to go to Italy, to Greece, and to Croatia. And I'd been to Italy several times as an adult, but had not. I'd always skirted around Greece, but had never been into any what had been referred to as the Eastern European area. So that was a 2-week trip. It was interesting. It was, from a historical perspective, one of those that was a lifetime trip. But it was also interesting in the aspect that the pandemic is worldwide. There knows no boundaries, and how it was being dealt with there. So that was in October, and then I just returned from Nassau day before yesterday.
How was the weather there?
Well, it was a balmy 75 degrees and a high of 83, but yeah, that was nice.
You like the beach?
No, not really, as much as that the relaxation and listening and hearing. I'm a redhead. Freckles come with it. Even though I grew up in Florida, I have to be cautious, so I slather it on and just relax.
Well, what, you have some other travels planned?
Yes, going to Alaska in June. It's going to be a rail and then a cruise ship. And then in October.
That sounds great.
It is great. It's looking forward to it. It'll be almost 2 weeks. And then in October of 2023, I'm doing, my husband and I are going to be on a trip going through the Baltic area with, depending on the world tensions at the time, we'll spend a couple of nights in St. Petersburg.
What's so attractive to you about this? I mean, this is a place you haven't seen, I suppose, and one that you've read about and know about. Mm-hmm. Is it just going somewhere new? Is that
that might be part of it. And I've been fortunate that I've had a lot of travel. I've been to China, I've been to Japan, and particularly at unique times. But I think that the part of it's the curiosity of not only the history but also the people, and again, I have to say, when I look at my background, I've always been very, I guess, involved that if this is the situation, I need to know the history. How did we get here? Why did it happen? Why did it occur? And even my children will tell you as they were growing up that we did not have to stop at every historical sign and have a history lesson just because there was a sign on the side of the road. But that's just the nature of who I am. I have to know.
All right. Dr. Donna Wright is with us this morning. We're going to take a break right here and more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota Red Max. Complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still running just a little bit slower than normal 24 westbound up by Ellington Parkway as they clean up that earlier crash. It's already slow on 65 southbound coming through Portland right now up through Robertson County. Keep that in mind. It's going to delay a lot of people here in the next hour or so trying to get out of Kentucky from Bowling Green headed towards Nashville on 65 south, trying to get through that stretch of Robertson County. Trust me, I'm looking at it live right now. It's crawling along. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Log on to GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Not till 23.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment now for this Wednesday. Dr. Donna Wright is here, and this is, I'm wondering if you had to get up earlier than usual this morning to get here, be with us at 7:30. Retirement means sleeping late necessarily.
Yes, but that's a habit that's hard to break. I'm a 5 to 5:30 in the morning kind of person, have been for a long time, and I blame that on my second child because he didn't sleep his first year. But I guess I've extended it to, now it's about 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere in there. It just depends.
So it didn't upset your schedule too much?
Oh, no. I look forward to this. I always look forward to coming and talking to you.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you with us here. Besides the traveling, and of course, with some of these places you're talking about, you have to plan, and you're already talking about 2023, I believe you said. It takes a while to get everything in place and all of that. But what are you doing the rest of the time when you're not traveling?
Well, it's been one that, and maybe unintentionally, but I've been working with some national groups. I wouldn't call it consulting as much as just working with, for example, AASA, which is the National Association for School Superintendents, and working with some new superintendents in other states that are, and this is an interesting time to evolve into a situation where maybe you've never led a district, small or large, and having to navigate through all the tensions and what's and the pressures that any school district, it doesn't matter where you are, and helping coach them, also working on several advisory boards. So I'm staying busy.
Well, would part of that come under the heading of consultant, maybe?
Yes, but I guess that's such a technical title that I don't want to be obligated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I am here to help. And in fact, someone reached out yesterday to see if there might be some interest as far as someone that's come into a new position. And I'm seeing something, I guess, if anything, Coleman, that a lot of people coming into this profession right now, and I say that, here I am retired, but no one could have predicted pressures outside of, educating boys and girls, getting them ready for, their life's journey to what they're having to do to maintain a school district, whether it's organizationally or instructionally. I mean, this is a tough time.
And well, is this some of this toughness in the coping with this and finding solutions? Does it bother you when you think about the future, where we might be headed? Are you greatly concerned?
I am more than concerned. I'm seeing a time period where people are making other decisions, and students coming out of school, going into a post-secondary and making decisions that I don't know, that I probably would be a good teacher, I would be a great educator, but that's not what I want to do, because what they are experiencing in their own education early on, that we're seeing a time period that with pressures, the stresses, the just what is being placed on educators across the nation. It's not limited to Tennessee. If people can make a decision to do something else, they are.
Yeah.
That is what's concerning, because Colin, there is the pipeline is now drying up, and I've said this. I mean, I've been on the show and talking about that. We're concerned that we're not seeing as many people going into the profession. And when I look at the teacher preparation programs across this state, the numbers have dropped dramatically. So that concerns me, because what do we do? And this is the greatest foundation of a democracy as far as what we have in our public education system. And
it's not all about money, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And in your opinion, is there maybe too much government involvement, or is government overspread itself a little bit toward our schools, perhaps?
We've always had government oversight because we are a public institution. And so you've had oversight, you've had rules, you've had, in the big debate, particularly in the last 15 years, starting back to No Child Left Behind. And when you looked at all those federal guidelines, it's always been there. But the overreach now is far beyond that, because it's taken on, I guess, the life as far as what will be taught, how it will be taught, even making assertions of what is assumed that's taught. And I can say it now, and I've said it before. It's like this piece on critical race theory, and I've had to ask people, said, "What is it that you think critical race theory is?" And I will tell you whether we're teaching it or not. Well, they start bumbling around, because critical race theory is not taught in K-12 education anywhere in the country. But that's what's been circulating for the last 18 months, really 2 years. Now, if you want to go to the College of Law, particularly in the state of Virginia, that's been taught since the early 70s. But something has really pushed that out there, that is some part of, and you're seeing policy-driven decisions being made across the country right now, that critical race theory will not be taught in K-12. Well, we're still trying to figure it out what it is that they think that has been taught or was being included in the curriculum, because it is not taught in K-12 education.
Well, I guess we all have our issues, our concerns, and they're not what concerns some doesn't concern somebody else. And if you're a director of schools, you hear it from everybody, no doubt. You know all of this.
I still get stopped in the grocery store and have to remind them.
But I think we do, if we're an American at all, we are concerned about their future, and everybody is concerned about their children and what kind of education, what kind of situation we're growing up in, what they are being taught, it's just not like it used to be.
No, and when I look at our teachers today, they're so good. I mean, if someone could just sit back and watch, particularly the magic that takes place in a kindergarten classroom. It's unbelievable. But everyone right now has an opinion about how it should be done, when it should be done, and our teachers are exhausted. They are stressed because one of the things that they know that they're facing is that not only the scrutiny, which we're used to being watched, and we should be, but the criticism that is pervasive in every aspect and every day. And that's not to say we have so many parents that are grateful for what teachers provide, but for the most part, they're quiet. But there is a really loud voice that is beating down on our teachers, our principals, our school superintendents, that when we look at the decisions that are being made right now, that I can find something to do that will bring less stress and pressures, and I'm going to find that. Right now, they're looking for 5 new school superintendents in East Tennessee. It was announced this week, Cumberland County superintendents announced their retirement at the end of this school year. And, I've had people say, well, why do you even need a school superintendent? Well, try to operate without one. So,
well, there has one of the alternative solutions that some people have done, of course, is to either go to private schools or to do homeschooling. And what do you think the future holds? Are our public schools in danger of going by the wayside?
No, because and I say this, we're going to go through a crisis. Simply because that's where we are. And I could give you a great history lesson going back to 1983 because it's not something new for public education as far as looking at not only the crisis, but looking at where the future might be with public education. But the thing is that I'm seeing more, not only from the federal government, from the state, and looking from the local pressures. And like you said earlier, it's not all about money. It's not. But the thing is, if we cannot provide a safe place for teachers to be able to provide that education, that they are not fearful as far as what is being placed on them. And much of it, you have to just look at some of the board meetings that have been televised from around the country. People are afraid.
Yeah.
And so there's the fear there. As to private schools, I'm thankful for private schools because, and particularly in Wilson County, great relationship. And the thing is, if we had everyone show up at the door, we can't house them. So we're thankful. And there is a good relationship because parents have to make a decision which is in the best interest of their children. As for homeschooling's growing. But we're also finding out from parents that, oh, this is not what I want to do. And so kids are coming back into the system, and for many of them that are coming back, they're woefully behind.
I shudder to think what it would be like if I had tried to homeschool mine. But
well, it's different with your own children. I would not have wanted to have educated my children.
When I called you to come out here, I didn't think this exactly would be our discussion, but education has been your life, so why wouldn't we talk about that, I guess? We got about 3 minutes. When you're not traveling, and maybe you don't have the grandchildren, what are you doing?
I read a lot.
Oh.
I read a lot. In fact, I was having a conversation with your guest earlier when I walked in. We were talking about, just the news media. And we're not used to having that, hard copy from us, and we have to be discerning about what we read. And he was commenting on that as well. So it's one of those things that I read multiple sources every day, so I can sort of digest, discern as far as, okay, where's the filter here, where's the bias, and what do I opt to believe, and does it match up with, and so I spent a lot of time doing that. But
so you
it's
are
important.
You are a well-informed person.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to be. But I'm curious. I want to know. And that's something I hope that I never lose because it keeps your mind sharp, Coleman. You do the same thing.
Well, we have done several, at least 4 I know of, county commissioners that are not going to run for re-election. Our county government's going to change some, probably. Representative Cooper announced yesterday he's not going to run for re-election in the 5th Congressional District. There could be some changes. I'm sure you are well